Hello everyone. Today we discuss the Athena by using the Python. So Athena is AWS service which basically used for data analysis. So Amazon Athena is an interactive query service that make it easy to analyze data in S3 using the standard SQL. And Athena is serverless, so there is a no infrastructure to manage and you pay only for the queries that you run. So we are using Athena and try to connect by using the Python Boto3 library. And when we are using Boto3 library, there is basically three method which used to connect with Athena. First one is start query execution. This method basically execute the query and return the query execution ID. Second method is get query execution. This function take execution ID as input and return the detail of the query executed. And third method is get query result. This function return the query result. And these three method used with the Boto3 library, and Boto3 library is a Python library which used to connect with the Amazon services. So I show you the example of so I am using this query database and output parameter in the AWS Lambda function, and I created one Lambda function Athena query. I hope you all know about this Lambda functionality. So I just created one program which used to connect with the Athena and return the output in this location, and Athena gives output in the form of CSV file. So this is my bucket location. I show you in this. So I already created this bucket in my S3, and now come to the program. So first and this is my table which already exists in the Athena database. So I show you this one also. So this is my database, and this is a table. I run this, and this is the output written by the table in the Athena. So this table already created in the Athena, and now we try to query this table by using the Python. So in Python I give the select query and database name my database, and output I already show you. This is my S3 location. So first I connect with the Boto3 library with the client and pass the Athena service. So after this there is a method start query execution. So this method basically return the execution ID, and in this method we are passing the query that is select star from my database employee detail table. Second one is database name. Database name also come from my database, and output location is output. So I already declared globally all these three parameter. So once my Lambda function call and all these parameter pass in this method start query execution, it return the execution ID. So by using this execution ID, we just pass into this method get query execution method and find the detail of the query and status of the query. So I show you down. I have created one function while using the while loop, and this function basically I created because the status written by the query, this is the method get query execution, and inside this method, I pass the execution ID, query execution ID, response query execution ID. So response query execution ID, which come from the up of this parameter, this response query execution ID I am passing below inside the this method get query execution. So if you come inside the while loop, so this response query execution ID I just passing inside the get query execution method, and after passing the value, it return the status. So there is a parameter which I passed in this you can say list. It return the list, and there is a further this already method query execution status and state. So by calling this parameter, it gives the status of the query. So when I passing the query execution ID inside this method, it return the status. So this status is initially I declared is running, but after that this status might be the queue because Athena takes some time to return the output. So until the Athena not returning the output, the status is in the queue, and might be there is some issue in the table and something issue in the backend in the Athena. So in that case, its status may be failed or may be cancelled also. So I give this condition here, if condition. So if in the case of my status is failed due to some networking issue or some table issue, so this function return false and this loop exit from here. Second condition is status succeeded. So in the beginning, this particular execution ID, when I pass in get query execution method, so it return first time status is a queue, and after executing the query successfully, it return the status succeeded. So it's a rotating in the loop, and I set iteration equal to 5. That means I set the condition that my status check in every 5 seconds, and in else condition I just give time dot sleep 1. So every 1 second it check the status, and if it found the status succeeded, then it's come inside this portion. And if I fix the iteration is 5 and time dot sleep is 1, so this loop go until 5 seconds. But in the case the query database, the query have a long output, have large data on the table. So in that case, it's the possibility this within this 5 seconds the query will not return the output. So in that case, this will not return any such result output. So we need to think about that. Okay, what should be the maximum query take time? Suppose our query take maximum time 10 seconds, and in the Athena. So in that case, we need to fix iteration equal to 10 here. But this is a small query. I know this query return the output in 5 seconds. So I fixed iteration equal to 5 here. Now come to the succeeded part. It rotating in this loop, and when it find the status succeeded, so in that case it check its location. So there is a method get query detail, So this is a method from up. So inside this method, inside this variable, output variable, we further pass this parameter: query execution, result configuration, and output location. So passing this dictionary keyword, it return the location. So it gives the location where the output is created. And after that, there is a third method, which is a get query result. And by using this method, we are able to see the output. So there is a we are passing the query execution ID. So response query execution ID is generated. I already show you. So this response query execution ID we again passed here, and it return the response query result. So in response query result, it's generated the output in the form of dictionary. So we further just want to see the header row. So there is some dictionary method variable we are passing inside this dictionary. So this is a variable result set rows and data, and this is a first row. So it return the header of the table. And second one is we just firing the for loop in this result set. So it print all the row, and then it return true and exit from this lambda function. So this is the whole functionality. I hope you can understand. So now I am running the query, testing this particular lambda function. Right. So you can see the status is queued. It return status queue. So I am printing status here. See, I printed status every time here. So you see, first time it return a queue. In second iteration, the status written by this particular dictionary is succeeded. So it come to this loop, succeeded loop, and then it print the location of this particular CSV file, and then it print the header, EID, department, and course. This is a 3 column, and then it print all the rows. And we can also check this particular output should be generated inside this particular output location. So now I am going to the output location. This is my S3 bucket, Ansible output. Now I just refresh it. This is EMP detail query. So this is my location. Now you can see the CSV file is generated. Now I download it. Show in folder. So you can see the output of the downloaded file. It shows all the records of the table. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching it.